Good morning. It is, what is today? Today's I know what today is. Today's the 18th. Today's my son's birthday. How could I forget? That's bad. Happy birthday, Beckett. He is 5 years old today. I bought him a little toy machine shed and some tractors for his big time carpet farm he's got. Beautiful out, sunny. It's a little cooler. As you can see, I got my winter coat on. It was 31 degrees this morning. That's not good. We had some frost. That's not good. That's the risk you take planting early. But last week was a bad week. It was a good week. We got a lot planted. We're actually about half done, corn and beans. Well, I'm over half done on corn, not quite half done on beans, but overall we're about half done on everything. How we got that much, I don't really know. The weather was nice, but man, we had some troubles. My dad's tractor and planter, the hydraulics, for some reason, the vacuum is wanting to really wrap out. I need to check to see if we have a vacuum leak. I don't think we do. So we had a mechanic out here a couple different times looking at it. This tractor right here, the Steiger 550, it was running great. It is now too. We're just parking it in here because we don't need it today. We got a hired hand helping us and he was running it, and just all of a sudden it threw an engine fault code and it derated. And so I looked up the code and it was low fuel pressure. So it ended up being a high pressure fuel injection pump went bad on this. This is about 3,500 bucks, but it's up and running. Thanks to Berkey's, they came out and I don't know, they fixed it in probably 3 hours. Our hired man is working some bean stubble ground about 3 miles south of here that I'm gonna plant corn on today. So we're only running one tractor, tillage tractor. Matthew and Jonathan are headed over to spray on the rest of those beans, but I got a grease. I got a little bit of an oil leak here. I gotta inspect this. It's not doing hardly much of anything, but it's doing enough that is a little bit concerning me. So I need to pop the hood and look at that. I gotta grease this whole rig. I need to let the tillage guy work ahead of me here for an hour anyway, but oh guys, this planter was beautiful last year. Perfect, ran perfect. So far this year, I'm not kidding you, we've run 5 days, which isn't that much, but it's a lot in the springtime. You cover a lot of ground in 5 days. This planter has been broken down or something's had an issue every single day. Every day. And I'm gonna explain to you guys of what's been going on with this blasted planter.
Well, good morning, everyone. So I'm currently heading back over to Raritan this morning with the beef tender. Luke finished up corn over there just before the rain, and I've got a couple hundred acres of beans left to do today. Jonathan's also over at Raritan to finish up some spraying of some beans. He'll get that done probably early this afternoon. Beans seem to be a bit more hardy to sit in colder, wetter soil than corn for whatever reason. Corn's gotten much better over the years, but beans just seem to do better, so we're not too afraid to plant, I'd say probably double of what we would of corn, but we'll just see. I think Luke's probably a bit more conservative than Dad is, and Dad's probably more conservative than John and I. John and I don't have as much experience, but I always give him a hard time saying we were the ones who went to school most recently for this, so hey, there you go. But it'll be what it'll be.
Those of you that have one of these 4905s, there's not very many of them out there running. And I want those of you that have one just to be aware. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just bad luck, but no, this planter, it's awesome. It really is. KINZE has done a nice job. There's some things on here I don't like about it. That gigantic PTO pump is obnoxious. Crazy, silly, stupid heavy. Hate it. Don't like that. I know you got to have it to run all this, but I don't like it. But there's a lot of things I do like. That right there is one of them that I don't like. But anyway, let me show you here. Let me open up one of these road units here. Pull the vacuum hose off. let's see, this is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this is one that failed. One of them. One of the 4 that failed in 4 days. Pop a meter up here. This right here, I just call the row control module. This is the brains for each row. As a matter of fact, I have one right here in my pocket. That's it, right there. It's got weather connectors, 6 of them, no 5 of them. Got a place to plug into 2 Ethernet cables right there. So this was a bad one. Or so we think is a bad one. So, where do I start? I've never had one of these things fail going through the field. It's at startup. So whenever you turn your kick on your PTO pump, that basically starts the communication, starts the talking through all these row units back to the main computer, I think. I don't know if I'm explaining these things right or not. But once I kick that on and it does a check, last year, 0 issues. Every single one of them turned to green. They're good to go. The health was perfect. There's a health screen on there that you can check, and they're good to go. Well, the first day planting, it actually fired up and it was running fine. I did some GPS calibrations out in the field, so I shut everything off, turned the planter back on. There was a row unit that wasn't communicating. Couldn't figure it out. Shut the tractor off, reset everything. The dealer came out, he couldn't figure it out. So we ended up swapping one of these modules out right here. So my dealer had one and we put it on there. It fixed the problem. For that row, we started the planter back up. Another row decides not to communicate. He finagles with it, swaps some row modules around, still can't get it to work. He thinks, well, it fried that one too. How does it do that? I don't know. Electronics are electronics and they're goofy. So my dealer didn't have one. I had to run a 150-mile round trip to go get one. Mind you, it was like 75 degrees and sunny. That's hard to do that, to stop planting. So I had to go up there and get one. Came back, started running. Planted, had a good couple days really, maybe 2 days. End up shutting the planter off again a couple days later, towards the evening. Another one failed. My dealer did have 3 of them come in, and so my wife stopped by and picked one up. So that's the 3rd one that I changed. And then it ran. And then the next day, I had a 4th one do the exact same thing. And they've all been different ones. So the new ones that I've put on, they haven't failed or haven't lost communication. So I don't understand it. And by the way, these things right here, $750 a piece, and I've put 4 of them on. Unacceptable in my opinion, but electronics are electronics, and I think it's just, I don't know if those things are actually going bad or if it's just a communication thing when firing up the tractor. But I've waited 30 minutes to an hour, try to get them to communicate, and they won't, and then I swap it and put a new one in and it works. So I don't know. I've got 2 of them that I'm going to send into KINZE. They want to evaluate them. I hope that they can figure something out. I don't plan on paying for all 4 of those. This is a 1-year-old planter. I don't expect anybody to have to pay $3 grand in electronic control modules. So hopefully KINZE gets back with me on that.
Just got down here where we're going to be planting 50 acres on that side of the road, 54 over there. Got to go hit a patch down that road, and then we got 44 acres a couple miles that way. John's over there making some adjustments to the sprayer. Okay, so I'm gonna get this tractor, make sure it's got fuel, and get to filling it with beans. Okay, well, just taking off here. Gotta go plant that little patch I was telling you guys about. It's a bit wetter down here than what we were thinking it was, even though we're just 4 miles from the home shop just across the river. 4 miles makes a difference, but that's just how it goes. And farming, just a little bit of distance can make a difference when it comes to rain and stuff being ready or not ready. But, well, I got that little patch done. Actually worked out pretty well. We're on a little bit of lighter ground today with being that patch, and then this 104 acres here on these 2 sides of the road. kind of up next to some timber, so we call it timber soil. Our timber soil tends to be a bit more sandy, so that does allow it to be slightly a little bit wetter than like your darker ground. So even though it is slightly wet, we're still able to get in because the sand doesn't hold the water as well as like clay or the dark and bucky ground.
Well, it's warming up. It's about 11:30. I'm kind of getting a late start, but we're caught up pretty good. I don't want to get too much corn on the ground before it gets cold and wet. Plus I'm waiting on our hired man to get this 60 acres work. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some corn. I got the planter all greased. Full of fuel, full of def, full of seed. I vacuumed my tractor out. I washed it a little bit because it's dirty. That leak has got me a little concerned. This tractor's been running beautifully other than that, so I need to keep an eye on that. We're gonna go down the road here about 3 miles, like I said, and get started on that. So I'll see you guys there momentarily.
One thing I did forget to mention, don't know if you guys can really tell from the tractor cab that well, but this ground has not been worked this spring. It got worked last fall with a vertical tillage tool that left it really nice and smooth. So we're trying something different for our beans this spring. Not on all of our ground, but for most of it. Most of it down here anyway. It got worked last fall with a turbo till, smooth enough that we can plant it directly into it this spring. You can see, maybe, there's quite a bit of dirt exposed, so it's better than no tilling, where there's a lot of corn shucks and stuff that would be right on top of the ground. We got chopped up and buried a little bit, but there's still quite a bit of stalks, which isn't as big of a deal. But it seems to be working quite well. There's old Dad just out there digging away, checking the depth. He's really, really particular about the depth, which is good. Let's hope there's no poison ivy or trail cameras.
And we made it. Get this baby unfolded here. This worked up really, really nice. Mercy, that till-all does a nice job. I've got it set just a little shallower. I believe it's gonna rain. You never know. You don't really want to plan according to the weather, but it is supposed to be cold and wet for like 3 days, so I don't think we're gonna lose any moisture. It's supposed to be 80 and windy tomorrow. It will dry out a little bit, so I'd say the depth is probably fine where we've got it. I may go a half a notch shallower. So, but anyway, here's the moment of truth. Been having a good morning. Everything's ready to go. I'm gonna fire up this PTO. Power pack on. It does take a few seconds to read everything and communicate. If it communicates, there'll be a little tab that comes up that says to turn on your, there it is right there, true depth, hydraulic downforce. So we are in good shape, thank goodness. Click health, they're all green. Last week they would not turn all green. There'd be 1 or 2 of them that would stay gray, and I'd reset everything and they would not cure themselves. So that's why I had to change those silly row modules. But anyway, we're good. Planting corn. It's going in really nice. This field worked up fantastic. We used the till-all on it because we had anhydrous put on this last week. We thought it was going to maybe work up a little chunky. The cultivator probably would have done a nice job. Man, this just, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but that is just ultra fresh. I'm running about 8.5, somewhere in there. It's not singulating very good. I've tried adjusting the vacuum up and down. It's holding right around 99, anywhere from 99 or 98.7 to 99.3 or 4, somewhere in there. It's still pretty good. The seed's really small. Kind of complete opposite what I had trouble last week, but it's doing a pretty nice job. I found an old ripper point from our chisel. Don't want to run over one of those things. Yeah, you can see how nice it's ripped up. Yep. See, there's just moisture right underneath there, which is good. It's going to dry off today. It'll dry off a lot tomorrow. It's supposed to be windy and like 81. But as long as the seed's getting packed down in there, it'll be fine through tomorrow because it's supposed to rain here in a couple days. We'll get out here and check it here real quick. The light ground, it can be 1.75 inches easy all day long because there's plenty of moisture there. The dark ground, 1.75 inches would be pushing it on, maybe being too shallow, but we'll check it out here. That one's a little better right there. That one's probably 1.75 inches. Close to 2. Yep, just under 2. The rest of this field is pretty dark dirt. I think I'm going to go ahead and put it back in deeper. I say a 1/2 notch. These things will actually oscillate. You farmers know this. You can go left and right like that to get a 1/2 notch, or come down and get a whole notch. I don't know. Different terminologies for different people, but so we say 3 and 3, so that's showing 3 empty notches. I had it on 4 and 3, so we're going to do 3 and 3. So here's 4 and 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So go in deeper a 1/2 notch. I think that's about 1/4 inch. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We'll check it right here again. Good moisture, that's good. That's what we want to see. This stuff will be drying out though tomorrow. Right there. Not any too deep. So, I think I made the right choice. The rest of this, like I said, is dark dirt. The high knolls and stuff were on the east side. That's 6 acres over there across the ditch. That's dark dirt. And the next field I'm going to, it's all pretty dark dirt, so. Sorry, dark soil. Dirt's what you get underneath your fingernails. Soil's what you plant corn in. All right, well, you guys want to see what it's like riding along at 10 miles an hour? I've been planting about 8.5, but if you guys are gonna ride out here, you just will experience 10. it's smooth out here. Now, we get along just fine with a 16-row planter. Essentially two of them. We've got two 40-foot planters, but man, I would love to have a high-speed 24 round. Oh, one day, we'll see.
Well, it's time for me to refill. I've got 30 acres left, so I'll put in just enough for that, because the next fill I'm going to choose a different variety. Got a few more rounds left on this part, and I got to hop over here. So we'll get this planter filled up. The new graphite applicators are working nicely. Kind of hard to see, but from there, up the auger, and into the tank. Got to put about 850 pounds into each side. Well, about that time. Not quite half done with this field, but I think I'm gonna end today here. I plan on seeing you guys tomorrow. I'll be spraying.
All right, we got a new operator here this evening. Today's Beckett's 5th birthday, so he is learning how to plant. Okay, we're gonna get down here to the end row, okay? You don't watch the camera, you just watch what you're doing. I'll tell you when to raise it up. Not yet. Now?
Now. Auto steer.
Not yet. Okay, auto steer.
Now. And
Nope, we gotta wait. Okay, lower it down now. Good job. One more gear shift. Great job. Beautiful sunset this evening. Perfect day for planting corn. And a perfect day for a little boy to turn 5 years old, right?
Yeah.
That's right. He's learning how to plant corn today. I'd let him sit here in the seat by himself, but I'm pretty sure he's not heavy enough. Good job. And now. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Full throttle. Attaboy. Thumbs up for the camera. That'll be all for the night. We may see you guys tomorrow.